It's time for Super Bowl 53, so let's do a $1 million special. It is Rams Patriots. It's a tight spread. It's a toss up, multiple positions. So we're going to run through this $1 million contest. I say we because I brought in a special guest. It's the Lamb Show. What's up, my guy?
What's up, Rick? How are you, man? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. I'm ready to get this money. You ready?
Oh, yeah, always.
All right, first question. Really easy. Jared Goff, Tom Brady, more passing yards. Let me hear it.
Oh, man. So this is all how you envision the game going, right? Game script. If you think the Rams are going to be trailing the whole game, then you got to go with Goff. And I'm kind of leaning towards Goff. I see the Patriots using the ground game with Sony Michel, who has seemed to be unleashed in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Jared Goff on this one.
I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go with Brady. He's got high numbers in almost every Super Bowl. I think it's the Rams that are going to lean on their power stretch running game with a healthy Gurley get right. I think the Patriots ideally would get Jared Goff to win them this game. And if Jared Goff is going to be the reason the Rams win, I don't see the Rams winning. Let's move right into running backs. Sony Michel, Todd Gurley, CJ Anderson, or James White. What do you got here, Nick?
I mean, I think you could completely eliminate James White because he gets maybe 4 or 5 carries a game. So I think you narrow it down to 3 guys. I'm going to go with Todd Gurley, man. I went back and I watched the film of the last time he got a full workload, and that was against the Cowboys. And I think the dude is healthy. I think they're just slow playing it and whatnot. I'm going with Todd Gurley. He's probably the best running back in the NFL, and I'm going to go with him on this one.
I love that we can get so much value out of props and picks. Taking Gurley, who's kind of been discouraged. We've been told to devalue Todd Gurley. I'm not buying it. The Rams got here with an historically strong offensive line. They're going to be able to push the center guard area. That's where the Patriots are weak. The Patriots are down. They're weak against explosive rushing plays. The Rams lead the league in rushing plays of 5 to 10 yards. I don't buy CJ Anderson in this game. I'm all Gurley. Question 3 is receiving yards. There's one clear top dog here. It's Julian Edelman, followed by Brandon Cooks, Rob Gronkowski, and Robert Woods, Mr. Bobby Dubs. What do you got here, Nick?
I've been watching a lot of the old games, and last time we saw the Patriots, they took away Tyreek Hill. He caught one pass for, I believe, 42 yards. And, Tyreek Hill and Brandon Cooks, a lot of comparisons between the two, the style of wide receiver that they are. So I could see the Patriots kind of taking out Brandon Cooks. Robert Woods, interestingly enough, him and Stephon Gilmore spent 3 seasons together in Buffalo, so I feel like both of them know each other's tendencies really well. Julian Edelman, man, I've been hammering all his props over, receiving yards, receiving catches, everything, So I think Julian Edelman is probably going to be a popular choice, but I think it's the right choice.
Just in terms of target volume, I have a hard time getting away from Julian Edelman. I think a lot of people are going to feel the same. I do expect a really strong swan song curtain call from Rob Gronkowski, but in terms of target share and where a quarterback likes to put the ball on 3rd and long, I really have a hard time getting away from Edelman here.
Yeah, Edelman, you could just pencil it. Like you said, he's going to see 10 targets at
Easy.
Worst.
When you talk about target volume, that's where question 4 comes into play. That's receptions. It's James White, Chris Hogan, Josh Reynolds, and Gerald Everett. This one can get tricky, a little bit of game theory. What do you like, Nick?
I think the popular choice is going to be James White. I also think it's the correct choice here. Anytime that he's on the field, it kind of gives away what the Patriots want to do, and that's throw the ball to him also. So I think James White, similar to Julian Edelman in the question before, I think he's going to see, 6 to 8 targets. Chris Hogan has pretty much disappeared for the most part. I think the only other guy that I would consider is Josh Reynolds. If we go with what we were talking about before about how Brandon Cooks might get eliminated and, double covered, and Robert Woods having the PFF's #1 graded corner, Stephon Gilmore on him, I could see Josh Reynolds maybe getting some receptions. But for the most part, the safe bet here is James White.
This could be a tough one. Total touchdowns, we got Robert Woods, Rex Burkhead, Phillip Dorsett, or Tyler Higbee on the Rams. What do you like here, Nick, for total touchdowns?
Man, this is why Boom Fantasy doesn't make it easy for you to hit a jackpot, dude. I don't even know where to go.
Oh, I got a winner here. I got a big winner here.
All right, so why don't you tell me who you like first?
Oh, I'm already on Rex Burkhead anytime tote plus 230. I think when you get inside the 10, it's Burkhead time for the Patriots. That's where they fed him against Kansas City. They love running him between the tackles. Listen, if Sony Michel's in the game, you know it's a run. If James White's in the game, you're pretty sure it's a pass. But when Rex Burkhead is in the game, the Patriots are at their most versatile. And when I get to a total touchdowns question, I want a guy that I'm pretty sure can score 2. Phillip Dorsett, yeah, I could see 1. Robert Woods, yeah, maybe I could see 1. But I could easily see Rex Burkhead popping in 2 short scores on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. He's the only running back that when he's out there, you don't know if it's going to be a run or a pass. It's interesting to note that I believe Philip Dorsett has scored a touchdown in both of the playoff games.
Absolutely.
So he's hot, and he seems to be the deep threat. He's kind of out snapped and out targeted Chris Hogan. So as a flyer, Philip Dorsett, but I think the safest bet would be Rex Burkhead here.
Question 6 is passing touchdowns or made field goals. Brady, Goff, Legatron, Gostkowski. What do you like for this little wacky question here, Nick?
Yo, so I'm kind of leaning first thought at Greg the Leg.
Yeah,
Zerline.
baby.
So the Patriots really buckled down. They're a bend but don't break defense, especially when they get into the red zone. So I could see the Rams settling for a lot of field goals. So, if he could hit 3 field goals, that's, you're banking on the other quarterbacks to throw 3 touchdowns, that's a lot. 3 touchdowns is a lot. So I'm going to go with Greg Zerline here for more field goals made than passing touchdowns for the other guys.
Nick, I've seen some actual sharp action on Greg Zerline MVP props. I think Legatron is a key factor in this matchup. The Patriots live off holding you to 3 and keeping you out of the end zone. It's one of the reasons I got so nervous for the Saints in the NFC Championship, because they kept settling for 3. And this is the Super Bowl. You got to get touchdowns. I'm a little bit worried about both teams' propensity to go for it on 4th down, but Sean McVay is actually a little bit more conservative than you'd expect in 4th and short situations, mostly because he knows he's got a great kicker in Zerline. I think Zerline is the smash here. I think Zerline would be the A bet, the most likely scenario. 2 questions left, and this is where it's going to get tough. We got 2 lightning questions to deal with. The first is the receiving yards total of Julian Edelman. We talked about his target volume. He'll be the most active receiver in the game for both teams, but where do we think his yardage is going to finish?
Man, this is crazy, but I do think that over 100 yards is definitely likely, so I'm definitely not picking anything under 100 yards. I'm just thinking about it like, 9 catches for, 13 yards per reception. That's around 134. So I'm going to go with 134 yards receiving for Julian Edelman.
I love that number. That's a fire number. My biggest concern is how good Aqib Talib is in the slot. That's where Edelman gets most of his work. I thought he had more. He only had 96 yards in the AFC Championship. It felt like he had more, and that's when the Patriots were really trying to claw back. They had all those 3rd and longs at the end. He probably added an extra 30 yards, so could have had a slow afternoon. I think the Rams have good corners, but the way the Patriots do their passing routes to the sticks, to the sidelines, timing routes, I see Edelman getting his. I'm going to go with 118. I feel good about it. Give me 9 catches for $118, because I think the Patriots will have to keep throwing in the second half, if you know what I mean. Closing out our $1 million contest for Super Bowl 53, it is Brandon Cooks' exact receiving yards. We think the Patriots have a special way of dealing with Cooks. Will that limit his yardage? For me, he's a boom or bust guy, Nick. So where do you got him on that side of the spectrum?
I think that it's going to be something similar to what you saw happen with Tyreek Hill last time you saw the Patriots. I'm going with 2 catches for 36 yards. I'm at 36 yards for Brandon Cooks.
The problem with me is I think I'm a revenge game narrative guy, and Cooks has revenge narrative 2 times. Not only is he an ex-Patriot, he got knocked out of the Super Bowl in like the first quarter last year. So he's got Super Bowl narrative revenge built in. So as much as the Patriots are committed to stopping him, and the under has been such a sharp prop throughout the week. It's about 75 yards, and it's been bet heavily. I really think he's going to crack over, but not by too much. I want to go for 89 yards, and I feel good about it as much as I think the Patriots are committed to stop it. Only got to catch 3 passes to hit that number, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he is a guy that has a high ADOT, so a lot of his plays are further down the field than other wide receivers.
This is why we bring the Lamb Show in, repping the ADOT. What's your pick for the big game, my guy?
Earlier this week, Patriots, but I have a gut feeling that I think Todd Gurley is healthy. I think this is all just smoke. I'm going with the Rams to pull the upset.
No smoke, no smoke. I'm all over it as well. And we'll have an extra $1 million to play with after this boom jackpot. How do you feel about it?
Let's do it.
All right, plug your stuff.
You can find me at The Lamb Show, Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch. I am a co-host of the Veterans Minimum Sports Podcast, and I host a daily fantasy and sports betting podcast called D-Generation Bets. You can find that on Twitter as well.
That's it for this $1 million preview, Super Bowl 53. Enjoy the game. It's been a great football season, and we'll see you for the next jackpot.